In this video, we're going to be calling our Fibonacci sequence service from a form. We're going to create a form with text field and submit. We're going to inject our service to this form, and we're going to call our service on form submit. So let's quickly create a form with its own routing. That's perfect. So we just created a new form that is extending the form base and is basically a skeleton of a form. And what we want to have in our Fibonacci form is basically a text field. So we're going to call a field feeble numbers, and it's going to be of type text field, and it is going to be having a title how many Fibonacci numbers you want to generate. That's perfect. So we're asking how many Fibonacci numbers our user wants to generate, and we're going to let him submit the form. And by submitting, we're going to be calling our service. Generate. That looks quite good. And yes, we already have a form with a text field and submit button, and we created also a routing YAML file for it. Here after path we would have to have defaults, clear the cache. Cache is cleared, and let's go ahead and jump to this path that we just created, and yes, we see our form here. So it says, let's calc some Fibonacci numbers, how many Fibonacci numbers you want to generate, and as you click generate, there is just a success that I wrote here on the submit. But what we want to do is we want to use dependency injection and inject the service that we created here. So let's go ahead and declare a create method. So let's say public static function create, and let's declare also the public function construct, and basically we want to also have a protected variable called feeble service. That is the Fibonacci service variable in which we are going to be storing the Fibonacci service. So in order to implement dependency injection, we will need the dependency injection container interface. Let's go ahead and search for Drupal dependency injection container interface. Quite sure it's called like that. Yes, it's the container interface, and what we want to do now is we want to simply put a use statement, simply put a use statement for it, and we want to say that we are using it here as the Fibonacci service is going to be passed, but before that we're going to be saying the container interface is the container here, and we're going to be returning a new static and then the container get, and we're going to use the value that we specified here in our services YAML file. There we go, and we're going to get it here in the construct. So looks quite okay. Return new static container get Drupal feeble calc feeble, and the container interface, and here we're going to be getting our Fibonacci service, feeble service. It's basically the same, and we're saying here this feeble service equals feeble service, and we may as well say that we expect it to be of type feeble service. So feeble service here, and we say here use Drupal feeble service. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and test if our feeble service is now populated with the correct service. We may just here int and see if the feeble service is already injected properly. So let's just go ahead and refresh, and yes, we get the feeble service. That's perfect. So the last thing we want to do is we want to use the feeble service inside of the submit function. So here we may simply say, instead of this, we may say simply our beautiful Fibonacci sequence is, and we are going to concatenate it with the implode of the return of the Fibonacci service. So something like this. And for our Fibonacci service, we're going to be calling, of course, the calc_sum fibos here. Perfect. And here we're going to be passing the form state get value, and the value will be the feeble numbers. That simply means that we're calling the service, and as an argument we are passing the input from the text field. So we're going to be returning the sequence of the Fibonacci numbers to the index that we specify in the text field. So let's go ahead and test it now a bit. Yes, it looks good. Let's go ahead first and say that we want our service to generate for us the first 5 Fibonacci numbers. And yes, our beautiful Fibonacci sequence is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's go ahead and say that we want the first 10. And of course, it's the first 10. And if we have the first 30, or if we want the first 50, that's already crazy. But you see how powerful our services could be. It is basically generating something that we may spend 2 hours on generating, and it would be not even 100% sure that it's accurate, where our service is quite accurate. And yeah, if you like this video, please check the links in the description, subscribe for the channel, and please don't forget to click the bell icon. And if you have any questions, don't forget to ask them in the comments below. Like, share, and thanks for watching.